All right, everybody. Yes, I cut my hair. Surprise, and welcome to the TimeOut podcast with Ali and Vince. Um, we are we are going to start as promised. I was supposed to do a good Brazilian soccer team from my perspective. It's already done. I just got to show it to you guys real quick. So let's go. Can you guys see my screen? Now you're seeing the wrong screen. Hold on.
I could see it. I don't know if they could see it.
Yeah, but it wasn't looking right. I'm gonna do it again. What the hell? I think that's the one I gotta share. Okay. Okay, so y'all can see it. So I have Allison in the goal, although he's coming back from an injury, but I believe he's still a good goalkeeper. Um, Case in point, the PSG Liverpool game this week, it was very good under the goal. For lack of a better player, I don't have anybody else, so I have to put Danilo as a right back. I have Marquinhos and have Gabriel as center defender. Again, for lack of a better player, I have to put Aranya here. I have Adri in the midfield, Guimaraes in the midfield. I have Neymar playing as a
That's
10,
Cam. Mm-hmm.
and I have Vini on the left, Rafinha on the right, and Rodrigo as a center attacker. I know he's not his primary position, but he can play it. And we do have some other guys that can play it, but you wouldn't want to bench Rodrigo for them. So basically, that would be my Brazilian team as a coach. So
Okay, well then,
yeah,
what do we'll leave that to the fans then. You see his lineup.
yeah. I
What do
mean,
y'all think
comment and let
about
me
his
know.
lineup?
Let me know what you will change in my lineup.
Is he
So
tripping? Has he lost his mind? Should he be
uh,
on the coaching staff? Let us know. Let us
well,
know.
if I should be on the coaching staff, watch for me, guys. I need millions. So go ahead, let them know. So we gotta start with the NFL, switching from soccer a little bit. We'll come back to it. We're gonna start with the NFL. So
Yes.
my team did something crazy.
Yeah,
Is
they
it? No,
did.
I wouldn't say crazy. I wouldn't say crazy. They did something. Is it crazy? It's debatable. They did something. They
Okay.
traded Debo Samuels for a fifth pick to the Commanders. And looking from well, me as a 49 as a Niner fan, I love Debo. I think Debo was good for us because it made the team a little bit unpredictable. You did not know who was gonna really win the ball. Is it McAfee? Is it him? Purdy can scramble a little bit. So the team was it kept the opposition on their toes. Now with the trade, I don't know who they're gonna get because free agency is going a little bit kind of unexpected right now. So, but Debo was has not been Debo since the 2021 season.
That's why they traded him.
Exactly.
He
So
also wasn't happy there too. I remember earlier in the season there was like
oh
a
yeah,
little
he
happened.
requested the trade, but he has not been at that level, and honestly has been a diva for us. Like has been making crazy demands, things like that. Kind of literally held us hostage a couple of seasons ago to get paid. Rightfully so. I don't tell anybody how to get and what to do with their money, but he was really like, I'm not coming to training, I'm not doing this and that unless I get paid and doing all of that. So, and come to find out the season why he got paid, he wasn't putting the numbers of the season where where he was a pro bowler, pro bowler. Sorry guys, my accent, whatever. But I think the Commanders got better if he can get back to that level because I think the Commander was they were missing like that veteran presence of somebody that has been in that level of football. Like I'm in Super Bowl or final or conference final. They were missing that type of player. Sometimes you need a player who knows how to win on your team. So they were missing that guy, and adding Debo Samuels it's always good. Again, he had a stellar season until 2021. But again, I don't think my team took a L on that trade. A lot of people that I've been listening to, they think the Commanders took that L. I don't know.
That's what I was gonna say because it's like one he's not playing at that same level.
Mm-hmm.
Two, a lot of the I stopped saying when it comes to certain players, specifically older players in the NFL, when they get traded to a team that's a young team or a team that hasn't had much success, I stopped saying the whole experience thing because that all depends on the outlook of the player that got traded.
Mm-hmm.
More, I'll say the experience thing if they choose to sign over there, not if they get traded over there, because
Okay.
they
Okay.
because their mentality and how they approach them being traded to a team that they probably didn't want to go to in the first place, they're not gonna. They might be even worse than they were on the team prior to getting traded, and
Mm-hmm.
that might end up hurting the team. So I don't know if he has experience to give and to bring, but I don't know if he's going to bring that experience if we depending on his outlook on the trade and his outlook on the team.
It all depend on the Commanders roster depth, like who they have as a wide receiver that's gonna be wide receiver one or wide receiver two. But let's see something here real quick.
Do you think it
Uh,
becomes a priority on the Commanders?
I think he can beat a wide receiver one over Terry McLaurin. In my
Mm.
opinion. Terry McLaurin was putting numbers for them, but and Luke McAfee is gonna be in his second year, so he's gonna get play time. But is he gonna capitalize on that play time and be Debo like the player that we know he can be based on that season that he put in 2021? So and Debo gained a lot of so he gained a lot of weight too. So people are saying that the Commanders traded for not me though because I found it I only use that word for Zion. The Commanders traded for an oversized wide receiver, so they don't think that is gonna be good. But again, if he put in the work, he might be. You never know. So we have to wait until the season starts to see how all that is gonna pan out. So we got Miles Garrett who got extended by what's his name again? I'm always forgetting the name of this thing. I think it's the Browns. Yep,
Cleveland,
Cleveland. So
Cleveland.
um
I
now
would
that he
leave
got
it in Brown
extended,
because of my QB. You feel me? My QB plays there. My guy plays there. That's the only.
now that he got extended, this is a good day for Micah Parsons. If I'm Micah Parsons today, I'm happy because I'm gonna get a bag. So if I wake up today, Micah Person, I'm happy today because that gives me the opportunity to get it back. And the Niners again are reconstructing Nick Bosa's contracts. He's gonna get a bag too because Bosa and Parsons have put good numbers. Bosa has put better numbers than Miles Garrett. So if Mike Garrett's got his money, Bosa's gonna get his money too. So it's a good day to be Micah Parson and Nick Bosa. And talking about Bosa, I heard rumors that the Chargers might waive his border and his border might come to the Niners. We'll see. I mean, I think Joey Bosa is a good player, so we'll see how that goes. But
What does that?
the
What does he improve for your Niners if he goes there?
Oh, why does he improve? Now I will have both Bosas on as one on the right and one on the left as edge. And Joey Bosa be getting sacks. Nick Bosa, we already know what he can do. So Joey will be playing essentially the position that Chase Young was playing for us when we went to the Super Bowl, not last year, but the year prior. So that will elevate a little bit my defense. That will elevate my defense a little bit. So and it will be with his brother, so better mental climate for him. So that can help out a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but the news that everybody's talking about when it comes to the NFL is Darius Slay got released by the Eagles. That caught me by surprise. That caught me by surprise. It was a good cornerback for them. And the other part is he made a top five quarterback. He did not have Jalen Hurts there. And he wasn't talking about greats. He was talking about like regular QB um that are playing right now. So people are saying it's because he got released. So that's why he's doing that. But I don't, I mean, again, I can be, if, okay, let me ask you this. If you're on a team, are you obligated to say the players on the team are the best at their position, or you can have your own opinion and that shouldn't affect the locker room? That's something I always wonder.
Me personally, speaking for myself, I'm not always gonna I'm not gonna do that. I know some people do, where they're like always bigging up their guy or talking good about their QB or their star player and stuff like that. But I'm not. I'm never gonna be above giving another person props. Now, if there's like a top five list and we're discussing something, and I'm on a team and my QB's obviously good, and I don't mention him, then yeah,
Mhm.
that's kind of like, especially when
But
that QB
if there's
just got
like,
a Super Bowl MVP and was the like we just came fresh off a Super Bowl, and I'm not putting him in. But at the same time, the list isn't for like great QBs. And if my QB's great, and I'm talking about regular QBs, I don't need to mention my QB's name in there because he's better than all the five on the list I just listed.
no, okay. They asked him to name four elite QBs.
Oh, elite QBs, and he didn't
Elite
put Jalen
QBs.
Hurts. Okay,
He
see,
didn't put Hurts.
then he's crazy.
But
Then he's
listen who he put. No, listen who he put above Hurts though.
who?
He put Joe Burrow, he put Mahomes, he put Lamar Jackson, and he put Josh Allen. Is he crazy?
Mm. That means Hurts is top five. That's all that. That's all that
Okay,
means.
so maybe if he had a fifth, he would have said Jalen Hurts. Maybe. So
That's all that means. That just means that means Hurts is fifth. You know what I'm saying?
maybe we don't know. We don't know. That's left for interpretation. But again, that brings me back because that brings me back to a lot of those players, soccer players mostly. At the time of where Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi were at their peak, you will have a guy be playing for Real Madrid on an interview saying, "Oh, Cristiano is the best in the world." As soon as he got traded or sent to another team,
Messi's
yeah, you know what? Messi's my goat.
Messi's
So, so
because he
uh,
is
I mean, yeah,
because he
the
is.
numbers are there. The numbers are there. I don't like to say it, but the numbers are there.
That's why I'm
Um,
saying it. He's the goat.
I, I'm Brazil, bro. I cannot hype an Argentinian player like that, but the numbers are there. Messi
He's
is
the
him.
goat.
Let me tell you, are you obligated when you are on a team to give the players props? Same thing in the NBA. We will have guys playing with LeBron that will tell you, yeah, Bron is the GOAT. Bron is the GOAT. As soon as they get traded, yeah, Michael Jordan's my GOAT. Like,
Mario Thomas.
why? Hmm?
Mario Thomas.
Yeah. Why didn't you say that in the first place? Like, why? Bron cannot beat you up. We are two grown men.
But it's like I don't know. It's a because there's a whole team chemistry aspect to it, I guess.
But yo, at
But
the end
even
of the
but
day,
even then, if you say it in the first place and you stand on it in the first place, I feel like that you would be respected more instead of just switching up just because of something that went down and you not being a part of the team, which we won't know.
exactly.
We won't
Because
know.
I mean, me, I'm the type of guy. I like to again. I tell you guys that on the podcast all the time. When I was a fan of team and players before being a fan of the sport, they are a player that you will never hear me give props to. Messi, Kobe. like those guys. But once I started appreciating the sports more, I saw their talent and I started giving them props. So, but again, I recognize Messi is the best player ever that ever
Mhm.
um went and played on a soccer field.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean that I'm a fan of Messi. Okay, I like watching Messi play because he's a good soccer player and I love soccer, but I'm not a Messi fan. I'm not an Argentinian fan. If and again, if Argentina is playing against certain team, I will root for them to win.
Mhm.
For example, if Argentina is playing against France, there's no way I'm gonna be for France. There's no
Mhm.
way in the hell I'm gonna be for France.
He was a Messi fan during the World Cup final. You heard
No,
it
I
here
wasn't a
first,
Messi
ladies and
fan. I
gentlemen.
wasn't a Messi fan. I was rooting against Mbappe because had Mbappe win that World Cup, bro, Mbappe would have gone around and tell people, South American soccer doesn't exist. Because he was already on that wave saying that European players are better than South American. It was on that wave, and I mean, from somebody growing up watching soccer, I know that there's more better South American soccer player than there are European soccer player, in my opinion. So I was rooting for South America to win.
Mm.
I did not care for Argentina, bro. It could have
Mhm.
been Colombia. It could have been
Mhm.
Bolivia. I
Mhm.
did not care for Argentina. And again, I did not want Argentina to win a third star. Brazil,
Mhm.
I haven't won a star since 2002. I need to win another star. Although Brazil has five, I need them to get the six.
Mhm.
So why would I want somebody to get closer? I did not want
Mm.
that.
Mm. Mm.
But
Mm.
anyway, switch
Mm.
that takes us into soccer though. Talking about French football, PSG, man, PSG, bro. That was heartbreaking this week. And mind you, I am a Liverpool fan.
And you mourned for PSG.
That was heartbreaking. They were better on every aspect of the game except goalkeeping.
That's why I love soccer so much, man.
Dude,
That's why I
if
love
yo,
soccer
and
so much, man.
that's not me. Yo, okay. My girl is an Italian soccer fan. She's Italy everything, like she's Italian. I I mess with her, like I annoy her when I want to, but that's really not a knock on the Italian goalkeeper Donnarumma. But if PSG had a guy like the Argentinian goalkeeper, see, I'm not even gonna go Brazilian. If they had I forgot his name, Zibu Martinez under the goal, if they had the guy from is it Mawok? No, not Mawok. They had the burgundy red.
Was that
I
not?
can't. Is that
Was that
Mawok?
not Morocco? Was that not
His name is
Morocco?
Bono. I know the goalkeeper name. If they had him under the goal, although he's not
Yeah, yeah,
really,
yeah, Morocco. But Yasin.
yeah, Yasin Bono. If they had him under the goal, because he was stellar on the World Cup. Keylor Navas, when he was really good, man, that probably would have been a 0-0 game. But Liverpool was better in that one action.
That's all you need. God, I love soccer. Ah,
Oh,
man.
bro. And I'm telling you, man, I'm a Liverpool fan. I am a Liverpool fan. People that know that when Liverpool was facing Madrid in that Champions League's finals, I did not know where to stand. I love Liverpool. But I'm more in PSG, bro. They were better on every aspect of the game except goalkeeping.
Ah,
Better defense, better midfield, better attack. Like in the ball. What they removed one goal for them. I gotta tell you guys that too. Kvaratskhelia scored. It was him offside, but I don't know, man. VAR
what do
said
you
it.
think? What do you think? What do you think? Do
Well,
you
for my eyes,
disagree? Do you disagree with VAR?
I do a little bit. I just will while I was prepping, I just will watch the highlight. I disagree a little bit, but VAR removed it. Besides that, the ball could not find the net for PSG, man, and I cannot wait to see I don't know if that is gonna affect their morale,
They played
but
yesterday.
hmm?
They played yesterday.
Yeah, but I want to see them in the Champions League now.
They because they played yesterday and they took their anger out on.
They always beat up those teams though. But I gotta see.
4-1 was the final score.
What was the final score?
4-1.
Oh, I gotta see how that. I gotta see this week what they're gonna do, man. I hope I'm able to catch the game
Yeah.
again. Barcelona, very resilient team. Rafinha, Ballon d'Or season, 10 against 11, and they got the win against Benfica. And Benfica was pressing once you guys got the red card because they
As any
removed they
team,
removed the
any team
they
would.
uh
As any team would.
yeah, but Barcelona because of the red card they lost their playmaker, which honestly, bro, I prefer the 2000 or 1990s coaches mentality. A defender take a red card, I remove my center attacker. The winger's gonna have to figure out how to score. But when you remove Dani Olmo, man, because Dani Olmo is the key player for Barcelona this season. Don't get me wrong, Rafinha is the best
Rafinha's
player.
having Rafinha. Rafinha's a. This might be a hot take, but Rafinha is a beneficiary. Like he's. I don't even want to.
I see what you're trying to say. You're trying
You
to say
see,
that the
yeah.
way Messi was benefiting from Iniesta and Xavi
Yes.
movement in the midfield,
Yes.
Rafinha is benefiting from Dani
Yes.
Olmo's.
Yes.
Exactly, that's what it is. And not only that, Rafinha, Lamine Yamal is too.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I'm gonna have another hot take. But listen, when you remove the playmaker Dani Olmo, that takes a little bit from Barcelona. So Rafinha now has to step in that playmaking role, which he can do,
You
but not to
can.
Dani Olmo's level. And that goal that you guys scored, it's only Rafinha that could have scored it for you. Because Rafinha knows you get that ball in that position, you shoot first. Yeah, Lamine Yamal is young and that's the hot take that I was talking about. Lamine Yamal is young enough that he will have tried to probably dribble and try to go and create a better position. Rafinha, nah, shoot, shoot first,
Let
ask
it go.
question later.
Let it go.
Lewandowski will have probably tried to get in a better position. Nah, shoot first, ask questions later. So, man, that was a good Champions League week, even watching Real Madrid's game, because that kid, that Argentinian kid that plays for Atletico Madrid, and
We were rooting against Real Madrid. I'm just letting you know right now, people. We were
of course,
in the derby, we were not rooting for Real Madrid, man.
of course, and it's not written in stone yet. It doesn't mean that we won, but um, yo, Julian Alvarez, that goal was magical, man.
In the 32nd minute of the game.
Yo, if anybody did not see that goal, you need to go watch that highlight, man. That goal was stellar. Like the way the ball curved, yo, you could have again, Courtois pas bull member there. Courtois could not do anything to stop that goal.
All he could do is watch. It's like you
Watch.
just
It's just, yo, and he did try. He did. That's the difference between Courtois and Donnarumma. He did try to go get the ball, but we all know, like the way that ball went in, that was a beautiful goal by Julian Alvarez. But Real Madrid did hold their own, so they won 2-1 against Atletico, and they are playing
yeah,
Wednesday.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
gonna see how that goes.
yeah. They're playing Wednesday. We know who you want to win Wednesday, people. We know who
Of
you want to win Wednesday, people. Come on now.
Yeah, Real Madrid. Who
No, no,
else?
no, 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 no,
Who else?
no.
So with that said, man, we're gonna switch into NBA. A lot of beefs going on this week, man. A lot of beefs. Too
You
much
see how we
beefs.
just enjoyed talking about soccer? That's not what's going on right now in the
Nah,
NBA.
man, it's
There's a lot of
beefs.
negativity. There's a lot of animosity. There's a lot of backlash.
Yo, come on, guys. Too much beefs, man. Don't make sense. You have Barkley beefing with ESPN, beefing with Kendrick Perkins.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick Perkins
Mm-hmm.
taking it to heart.
Mm-hmm. My guy Charles Barkley said, "I don't whistle when I walk by the cemetery."
No. I'm like,
Kendrick Perkins said, "Address me like a ticket on the house."
yo.
Mm.
And it's just, honestly, bro, I see what Barkley means. Don't get me wrong. As a fan of the sport, again, I see what Barkley means. Okay, so for those who don't know, Charles Barkley's beef with ESPN is that Kendrick Perkins said that the Lakers saved the NBA season
Mm-hmm.
in terms of viewership. And we have been very vocal about viewership on this podcast,
Mm-hmm.
especially Ali. So we have been um when Kendrick Perkins comes out and say that the Lakers saved the season, I understand what he's talking about because now the Lakers have I can say two faces of the league playing for them. And they are playing at a high level. So I feel like everybody now are more like me, for example. Let's say it's a 10 p.m. game and I have work in the morning. If I see Luca and LeBron playing against, oh, I don't know, like a decent team, or let's say they're playing against the Rockets, I will be more lenient to watch that game than hearing OKC's playing against I don't know,
Portland.
Boston, Portland against Portland. So I see what Kendrick is trying to say, and I see Barkley's point. Barkley's like the Cavaliers have been playing well, since the beginning of the season. They've been playing great basketball, and OKC has been playing great basketball. The Lakers have been good for 2 weeks, so you cannot say they saved the season. But I feel like it didn't mean the season literally. It meant the viewership aspect of it. So I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Oh
Who
well,
do, who you side with?
I don't side with either of them because my me being vocal about the decrease in viewership. Yes,
Hmm.
it had to do with the style of play and like, but that was only to me that was only a small part of it. The biggest part of that for me was how they
Present the product.
promote. Yeah, like the biggest part for me that I was arguing against viewership is how they promote the games and like how easier are you making it for people to watch the games and in like I said, like when we talk about the All-Star game, how
Hmm.
majority of it was like people, or the Super Bowl, I mean, how people felt they were watching a bunch of commercials all the time, or like just these things that impact viewership, like the actual viewing experience is what I was mainly um disappointed with throughout the season. When it didn't surprise me that viewership in America was down, but
Hmm.
globally viewership is fine globally. But here, us fans here are not having the best experience viewing it. And Charles Barkley had a point when his greater complaint too was that the whole thing about how the NBA media over there at ESPN, because he's blaming ESPN, is
Hmm.
only talking about, they only want to talk about LeBron versus MJ in the GOAT debate. They only want to talk about the Lakers, even though the Lakers at the beginning of the season weren't doing as well. They've since turned it around. I'm not Charles Barkley point about how the Lakers have only been good the last 2 weeks. That's just wrong.
Yeah,
That's just wrong. They've been
they've been good. They've been
They've been
okay.
one of the more solid teams in the NBA, and I had them at the very beginning of the season. I had them failing, so they shut me up. They've been good.
Yeah, they've been good. They are
And
second in the standings right now, but
even when they were
they
like fourth or
they've
fifth,
been fourth. Like, yeah,
they
look up,
were
put them up, but
like
they
before.
have not been a playing team.
You had the yeah. They have not. I had them as a playing team in the beginning of the season, just because I couldn't understand where they were going with the roster. But then
Hmm.
Austin Reeves took a leap. LeBron forgot he was 40 years old. JJ Redick, coaching,
Coaching, yeah.
so actually coaching, things like that. And then I it's it goes back to the discourse of basketball, because I was watching this great video throughout this week that made me want to bring up Charles Barkley's point, because he's a part of the problem. The way we
Be
talk about
careful.
what's he gonna do? His bald ass. The way we talk about basketball
Mhm.
is ruined because of nostalgia. And
Yeah,
that this might be hard for some of our viewers who are a little bit older,
yeah,
but
yeah.
nostalgia is ruining
Basketball.
basketball media, and it is making it harder and harder for us to appreciate the game, and it is making it harder and harder for us to move on from an era that has long been over. Prime example, you see how we're talking about the beef between Charles Barkley and Kendrick Perkins and
Hmm.
ESPN and an old network and Anthony Edwards not wanting to be the face of the league and all this other crap, right?
Hmm.
Jokic this week had a game where he had a triple double. The first player to have this kind of triple double. Insane numbers. Jokic right now is in the MVP race with Shea Gilgis Alexander, and there's people because of the media that aren't like this. MVP conversations and MVP debates used to be at the forefront of basketball talk. Not none of this
Yeah,
extra stuff. Instead of talking about Jokic's stellar performance, we are talking about LeBron James checking Stephen A. Smith at the end of a game over BS that Stephen A. Smith said over the airways. And I like I don't I stopped watching First Take years ago. I stopped watching Stephen A. Smith years ago. I stopped watching anything ESPN. I'll tell you the day I stopped watching ESPN. The day Rachel Nichols was fired from the
hmm,
jump. The jump on ESPN is the single best show that they had when it came to covering basketball. As soon as Rachel Nichols was fired, I stopped watching because I wasn't watching First Take. I wasn't watching none of these other shows. I wasn't watching what was it? I wasn't watching none of these other shows with the Michael Bonds and all that. The old, I wasn't watching none of that
hmm.
because I personally felt that the media was having because every week it felt like the same thing that Charles Barkley said. They were having the who's the GOAT, LeBron or MJ or who? It felt there was a week where it felt like if you saw a clip from First Take, that's all they would talk about. And you have a team like the Cleveland Cavaliers going on a crazy win streak to start the season, but we're talking about LeBron. I love the guy, I do, but like the
They are more pressing. There are more pressing things that we should be talking about when it comes to the
exactly,
league.
and that's why
Um,
Draymond had this thing called new media. He's the I don't believe in that because the thing about new media is it's not the people in the networks, it's not the people at ESPN and the people like that are doing a good job or pushing better conversations about basketball forward. I'll tell you right here, right now, as a person who keeps up with basketball, when I want to engage in basketball discourse and see hot takes or see what the most like popular discussions are and what's happening, I'm on YouTube, man. YouTubers who are passionate, the YouTube and people who come across this video, come across this clip will know what I'm talking about when I say these names. When I say these names, the people who know. Jimmy
mhm,
High Roller, Mike Korzemba, Low, Legend of Winning. I know Kenny from the Fourth. These when I say these names, these are people who, when it comes to basketball discourse, have elevated the space and give grace and time to more than just the most popular teams in the league because they actually watch the game and they have their own takes and their own opinions and their own things that they're looking for. But more importantly, they watch the game. These people like the Charles Barkley. That's why I say Charles Barkley's a part of the problem. He's not watching basketball for real. He has his own takes, and he could be mad that ESPN is only talking about LeBron James and the Lakers because they're wrong in doing so. Because there's too many stories in the NBA, good and bad. There's too many things going on right now. You ask me, All Star game aside, and my gripes with how streaming and viewership is going. This is a good season. Can we agree?
Yeah.
This
It is
is
a
a
good season.
this is a good season. We lost Jimmy Butler. Terry Rozier was getting investigated by the federal government. And I'm only talking about Miami Heat here. Bam learned how to shoot threes, and we're still losing games. Then you go to the Lakers. The Lakers do a trade so crazy that it doesn't even work in 2K. Like Jason Tatum and the Celtics are quietly having a solid dominant season. There's so much going that you have the disaster going on in Orlando. They're like persevering but they're still doing good, fighting through injuries and playing to their best of their ability. You have that going for them. You have you have you have the Pistons turning their season around after having one of the worst seasons all time. Why are we not talking, like, we're not talking about these things because we want to talk about BS? So I agree, but it's literally the pot calling the kettle black.
Hmm. I mean, we
Glosal
even
cap.
us. Let me tell you, even us on this podcast, though, we when we, I don't know, bro. We talk about the same stuff that they talk about too. So it's what the
Hey,
fans wanna hear.
I was talking about the Pistons long before anything. I was caping for the Pistons. I'll be. Hey,
I mean, you were.
talk about
That's
the
what I'm saying.
Pistons.
I mean, it's not like we are stuck on because we had episodes where we did not even mention LeBron
Nope.
or whatever. But what I'm saying is, like, it's what the fans want to hear. Because when remember when you sent me the clip, the first thing I told you I was like, look at the captions. Because in the captions, that's what people were saying. Like, yo, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch that. I prefer watching this. I prefer watching that. And yo, when you have like Luca and LeBron playing, Jokic don't care really about basketball. He's great at it, but that's not his focus. Like, if you don't care about the sport, why should I care about what he's doing? That's the mentality of the fans.
And it's flawed, and that's why I'm and that but that's the flawed mentality of the fans. It can't be the fans. But my thing is too is that it's the mentality of the fans. Sure, fine, but as a member of the media,
Hmm.
you're getting paid to do this. As a member of the media who has access to the sport that a fan will never have. You have access to a sport that a fan will never have to your capacity. You have access to players. You have access to teams, to coaches, to trades, to you know more about rumors than we will ever know.
Hmm.
You have all that access, and you choose to fuel the ignorance of the fans further because of viewership. And that's a disservice to the game because you see that the fans are negatively talking about basketball or a fan is negatively talking about a team and you feed into it and you talk negatively about the team and the sport because both of you guys, well, for one, you're not watching. Two, the fans aren't watching either because fans have lives. But you, whose job it is to focus on the sport, are not doing your due diligence to watch. So then it becomes this feedback loop. If you keep saying that the game of basketball is in a terrible space and is bad because not because of the viewership thing that I keep complaining about, and not because of like what Adam Silver like has done or hasn't done, but because of like I keep hearing the same tired excuses, and even I've stopped saying this. Like I hear the excuse of load management. I hear the excuse of all teams are playing the same. I hear the excuse of the defense is bad. Like those top three excuses for you constantly saying why the game is bad. If you keep saying that over and over again, as a member of the media, the fans are gonna say it too. If the fans are saying it first and it's not true, it is your responsibility as a member of the media to counter that and to explain something that the fans may not fully understand. That's why I'm like Charles Barkley is right, but he's a part of the problem because in that same rant that he did, he said the Lakers have only been good for 2 weeks. That's
Yeah,
not
that's wrong.
That's not true. And to your point about Jokic, the media was better when Tim Duncan was putting up these numbers. Tim Duncan was putting up crazy stat lines, and he was a boring ass. personality. That didn't
Yeah.
stop the media from saying his numbers and from letting you know how incredible of a talent, how incredible of a player he was, even though he played in the league at the same time as a person named Kevin Garnett. You had an extremely loud personality on one side of the conference, and you had an extremely laid back, quiet personality on the other. Nikola Jokic, Marvin's. Nikola Jokic this week. I'm gonna just read to you the stat line: 31 points,
22
22 assists,
assists, 21
and
rebounds.
21 rebounds
Yeah.
in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we saying the game is bad? Why are we talking about LeBron, who's the GOAT, versus Jordan for the 150th time? Why, like, do 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you couldn't have a game like this and it not be talked about for a week straight.
But okay, I'm gonna tell you this though. I'm gonna tell you this. Controversies sell. And this is what this is really what but mess up everything in sports, in life, and everything. Because now I don't need to wait for the media to bring something to me. I can go out myself and look at what I find interesting. Because everybody have one of these. Everybody have one of these. And the moment that you go, because what are you talking about? We're talking about a time where we had to wait for 9 p.m. to call our friends unlimited versus the time where now everything is unlimited.
Nah, 20. That's 10 years ago. We in 20. 10 years ago was 2015. This was still here.
Yeah, but it still wasn't as crazy as that, bro.
Nah, 2015
Now,
was the year before the LeBron. This is the year
yo,
before the 3-1
Ollie,
comeback.
remember, okay, do you think sport betting was not as big as it was not existent 10 years ago?
Oh no,
But
no, tennis.
now
No,
this is the norm.
sports
It was
betting was.
always there. Yo,
Yeah, yeah,
it was always there. People were betting since the beginning of times. Because
yeah.
I remember clearly, I was like a little kid, and I had an uncle who had a Worcester that he used to carry with him with a bag over his head. For what? This Worcester was a Worcester that he used to bring to fight against other Worcester so he can make money. So people were betting since the beginning of time. But now this is the new norm, right? So people now, think about it, bro. You and I, before, as fans of the game, before we had nothing crazy to do with our life but watch games and debate and things like that, and then do homework. Probably we had like a low job just to pay our phone bills that did not take all of time, and then do homework for college. Besides that, we had plenty of time to watch game in between classes, play a couple of game and discuss it. Now,
I never watched games between classes, people.
oh, you never did what? Watch ESPN?
I never watched game. I never watched games during classes, people.
No, I'm
I was a
saying
great.
in
I was a
between.
great student.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I used to watch game in class. So, you know, but now, you take me for example. I'm at a state of my life I'm in a state of my life where now I'm planning to have a family of my own. Talking
Mm-hmm.
about buying my house, having kids, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You just graduated from college. You're planning your life as a parent and your career, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. So games in like the fandom is not really what it used to be for our generation. And people coming after us, I'm talking about the kids, like those kids, like people Taisha's age, all right?
Mm-hmm.
They are not as invested as we used to be on TV no more.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you ask them a question, they pull up one of these and they type it. And AI comes, bim, and give it to you. And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is actually the actual fact. And then they don't care no more. They move on with their life. So now the impact, because you and I, you grew up in Haiti, up until what age you were when you left?
I was
8?
9 when I left.
Oh, I thought you were 8. So you and I, I left Haiti when I was 18. Like I turned 18 and left. So we kind of have a similar experience as far as taking in games.
Mhm.
Because I became a fan of sports around the age that you left. So we had the same problem with viewership. Like we literally had to go to onto um internet and type things to see because we had school in the morning. We could not stay up late. So we had to look at highlights and do a lot of, we had to do our research to become fans of the game. Kids nowadays, they don't care about all that. And that's why the other day when we were talking about, we were talking about great, I don't remember what we were talking about. And you told them to go watch one highlights of 2001. And in the
The
back
All
of
Star
my head,
game.
I was laughing and I was like, not gonna do that, bro.
I sounded old. I sounded so old saying that, but that was to my point
Yeah,
of like,
yeah, that was to my point too. Because now kids don't need they don't need Stephen A. Smith to come and say something to them. They don't need Barkley to come and say something. They don't need none of those people. They go online like and type that. So if I go online right now on Google and say, who's the god of basketball, Michael Jordan or LeBron James? AI is gonna give me a list of stats and I gotta choose for myself. That's an example. If I go online right now and say who's the best player actually in basketball, whatever AI tells me, that's what it is for them. It's not as they are not as invested as us, bro. Because
that I can't even fully say that they I can't even fully say they're not as invested.
I don't think they are.
I can't say that.
You will find a couple who love the sport, but at the
Not
same
even
time,
a couple,
no.
because it's like we're still in that same era where, yeah, it was hard for us to watch the games, but there was a sweet spot where you could find basketball games on one channel, and you could catch games on NBA Game Time. You didn't have NBA League Pass becoming more and more greedy. You didn't have you didn't like you could be in California and watch the Clippers play, and you didn't have to pay a subscription to specifically watch them play. You could watch like it wasn't,
Let me tell you this.
you
I,
know.
you know, when there was a time when we were in college and like earlier in our careers, like ending like last year, stuff like that. My girl worked for the Census Bureau and she was doing trying to do census stuff. The real census me I would like to do is to go around and ask people how many of you have cable at home. Like literally,
Not a lot of people.
uh,
Not a lot of people have kids.
literal cable. And then next census I would like to do for those who don't have cable, what is your primary focus? Like what do you watch? If you're a fan of sport, like what do you watch? I feel like, and I might be reaching with that numbers, like 80 to 90% of people that I will ask that question will tell me, oh man, I watch shows on Netflix. Because yo, when we were students of the game, you and I, I'm gonna take again that take you told them to go watch the 2001. Ali, in 2001, you were 2 years old.
I was 2 years old.
So you
I
went to do your research.
I seen a hardwood class because back then, okay, because they, oh my god, you can watch right now because I love YouTube so much. YouTube is my most used app.
Me too. Clearly, clearly.
You could find full NBA games from back then
Of
on YouTube.
course. Of
But
course.
before that, I was getting I saw the All Star game not on YouTube, but I saw the All Star game and old finals on NBA Hardwood Classics on
Yeah,
NBA.
there was that channel on cable. There were that channel that used to repeat games.
If you I feel that's I guess I guess it's not too many fans like that. It's only a few of us out there
A student of the game.
who
That's what
really
it
like
is. We
go back and
love,
watch.
yo, you see the way, and for the again, I gotta bring this on. You see the way LeBron James talk about hip hop.
Yeah,
That's the way I view basketball and music too, because I'm a fan of music.
yeah.
Because if I could, I can do a podcast on music. Like I can do a podcast on any type of music. But I'm a student of the game, bro. Like there's player before me that as soon as I hear their names from on somebody who's older than me, I go and do my research. And even right now, like case in point, when Noelle and Ollie told me about Cam Whitmore, I went and did my research and watched the kid play. You gotta have a passion for the game to be able to to look at the game from the lens you as somebody who has passion for the game is looking at it. Nowadays, kids don't have that passion, bro. Like when we were growing up, Two Chains put an album. It was like rap or go to the league, right? Those were our two options. Although we knew that our chances were slim, right? But yo, remember I was at your crib producing music, Stanley's rapping on a beat up mic and doing all that, and then in the afternoon we go play basketball. So that was our childhood, bro. Now the kids don't do that, man. They don't do that.
No,
Yo,
but that's what I was saying though. Like that passion, the passion you're saying that the kids don't have to today, bro. I'm saying that
no, don't get me wrong. They have passion,
they have
but for
passion.
something else.
Yeah, they have passion for something else. But that's why I'm saying it goes back full circle because I'm like, even though we're using this to like engage with the media and engage in basketball and it could give us all the information and all this stuff, you still get clips from ESPN on this thing. That's how we know all the crazy. That's how we know that LeBron pressed Stephen A. Smith. It went viral on this.
Because I was sliding on X or on IG and I saw it.
Yeah,
But
that's
but
but that's
if I don't hold on, if I don't listen to what Stephanie was saying about LeBron, I will have not know the backstory of it. Oh, yo, Stephanie pressed LeBron, and okay, and I'm
all
go
of
read comments, misinformation, and all of that. Because you get
yeah.
misinformed
But
on those apps.
you do, but I'm saying that like the passion for the game is some because this a lot of times we like to demonize this. We like to demonize this a lot of times, and rightfully so. This thing is a piece of shit. This thing,
Yes,
this thing ruined us because we
but you
let
can
it.
use it. You can use it for good.
Yes, which is what I'm saying. This because I'm like the passion that you're not seeing. Like prime example for me, my passion for the game of basketball was reinforced by the NBA at that time. I was rewarded for being passionate about the
Hmm.
game of basketball.
Hmm.
I wasn't exploited for being passionate about the game of basketball.
I
Catch what
see.
I'm
I see
saying?
what you mean. I see what you mean. So
So
I
yes, the
I would
kids
say that
today,
what you're trying to tell me is you being passionate, you had a lot of tools for you to reinforce your passion for the game.
bingo. I had a lot of tools, and at that time, I'm talking like from from when I was 9 to when we were living together in the same house
Hmm.
to literally like up until the 2016 season, like real like for that span of time I was the media played a role in reinforcing people's passions for the game of basketball because of how the game was discussed. There wasn't a single good or bad, every team was talked about.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
you could go into a week even though you weren't focusing on a specific team. Like I was on the East Coast and I could tell you like what was going on with the Clippers because
Let
they
me
were
give you the best example. The best example of passion being reinforced. Remember when we were in the same household and there was some type of natural event and we had to leave the house to go they paid a hotel for us and it was in the middle of the LeBron shutdown NBA final. You, Noelle, Stanley, and I were going crazy trying to find the finals to watch. So that's the passion we had, bro.
that's the passion we had, but like that passion right now, which is why you got players like Anthony Edwards saying they don't want the face of the league. This is why you got people like LeBron saying that they didn't ask to be the face of the league, but they took on the responsibilities and everything that came with it, and they understand why people after them don't want to take the thing of the league because of how people talk shit about it. To the point where he has to press Stephen A. Smith at the end of a game to tell him like keep it basketball. Like why are you pleading with me, telling me to stop embarrassing my own son?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When if you're really watching the game of basketball, you have all this shit to say about Bronny negatively, but when he's doing well in the G League, when he's actually improving his game, you're not going to talk about the G League. It's the same. It doesn't even have to be about NBA basketball. I'm gonna take it a step further.
Mm-hmm.
WNBA basketball. I'm gonna take it a step further because this is why I take issue with Stephen A. Smith. Just Stephen A. Smith. The man, he was called out on ESPN2 for this when they were talking about the Caitlin Clark and the WNBA like rise and stuff. They told him to his face, you as a member of the media had an opportunity to talk positively about the WNBA for years long before Caitlin Clark was drafted, and you never did. And you never did. That's why like that's my whole thing about it. When it comes to reinforcing negativity, when it comes to reinforcing rumors, when it comes to reinforcing just I don't even want to say bad parts of basketball because rumors and that stuff and like not liking players and all this other stuff is a part of the game. But when it comes to reinforcing all that stuff, ESPN and the media today will be the first to do it. But when it comes to reinforcing people's passions for the game, like when it comes to like you used to have the ESPN top tens during the commercial break. You used to come on and you used to see you would see JaVale McGee do something crazy, even though in your mind you're like JaVale McGee makes a lot of dumb plays, but he's good enough at basketball to give you a highlight. Or you would see Nick Young do some crazy highlight, or you would see so and so like it would always be about the star players, and then you would turn on the ESPN show and it would be talking about a team that you weren't paying attention to at the time. Like I'll give you an example back in the day, when the Grizzlies, the Zach Randolph Grizzlies were having that little rivalry with the San Antonio Spurs, and they were
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about that.
yeah.
And he would hear about that, even though it was at the same time that LeBron James and the Miami Heatles were winning
Yeah.
27 games in a row.
Mm-hmm. 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 That's
You would
back
hear,
when we were in the same spot.
you would hear,
So,
you would hear both sides of it. Or I'll
mm-hmm.
do you one better. Just to let's go 2015 or no, let's go 20. I want to say from 2015 to 2018, where it was around the time that D'Lo was on the Brooklyn Nets. Karis LeVert goes down, and you would hear talk about Karis LeVert, who was supposed to be an All-Star that year, going down, and you would hear them talking about how D'Lo, after his failure with the Lakers, was helping turn that franchise around and how they were one of the most fun teams in the NBA, even though there were better teams in the league and better players in the league at the time. Today, you wouldn't hear about D'Lo. You wouldn't hear about you would not hear about that Brooklyn Nets team unless you were really watching and being quiet about the positive moments in the league because there's 30 teams. Being quiet about the positive moments in the league is a disservice to the passion of the fans today.
But okay, let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this. You, don't you think? Do you think that it's because there's like the quality of basketball is way too good, like they don't know what to talk about right now? Or
That's a great
I
point.
mean, even
That's
me,
a
with me
great
thinking
point.
that it's crazy because there's 7 days in a week. So
That's an amazing
that's
point
no,
you just made. Imagine
yeah, but
telling somebody from 2007 that a center can play the point guard and drop the 31 point, 20 assist, 20 rebound triple
when we
double,
bound, yeah, 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 yeah.
and
They'll
telling that
they,
same person that he might not win MVP.
well, MVP discussion, bro. That's something we need to have to have more time to talk about because yo, yeah, the quality is just. Mhm, mhm.
So what are you? That's a great point that you make because Stephen A. Smith. I'm talking so much about Stephen A. Smith, but it's not just him.
And
I'm talking about
we're not even on that topic yet. But I feel like every NBA topic today just intertwined because even if we talk about De'Aaron Fox leaving, it goes to that too because they should that should have been covered properly.
properly.
Because saying that you're leaving because there's too many coaching changes and there's not, and we are talking about again LeBron pressing Stephen A when the guy is telling you, yo, they keep switching my coaches. So I feel like That's not what I needed. That's why I left. That should have been something discussed because this is part of the game. This is part of the game. A coach
It's
is
just,
an essential part of a team.
and then even when you have that discussion, like they'll I don't. It's just they're not having the discussions in the media are just not. They miss the point. They it's like you're watching somebody kapsheshe zen in real time. Like you're watching somebody that's like looking looking for the hot take to say, or purposely looking for a hot take, not because they thought about it, but they're like purposely, like, I'm gonna say this stupid thing on live television
To go
on
viral.
purpose. And Kendrick Perkins admitted to doing it on JJ Redick's podcast, so I have no issues with people calling him a fool. He admitted to it on the Old Man and the Three. I remember it. I could find the episode easily. After he said that, I can't take anything. I can't take anything he says seriously. That's
So
another.
that's my point again regarding this. Because
Yeah,
everybody wanna go viral
bingo.
nowadays. Everybody wanna go viral so they can make money. And that goes back to the whole like, yo, I'm a go and listen to what's viral or what's hot in the moment. So I don't know. It's like the whole everybody wanna have their 1 minute or 30 seconds on fame on TikTok and then that's it.
Yeah.
Even in the Haitian culture, it's like yo, coupe ça, poste ça, do that. So
Mhm.
everybody wants to go viral, and quality is not essential to be. And okay, while you were talking, something came in my head. Like last week on the podcast, I said again, I was never a coach. I never studied to become a coach. I know you have to go to school to become a coach. And in my opinion, I can put a Brazilian team that can do better, in my opinion. But I admitted that I'm not a coach. Now, to be an analyst, and that's why I kept saying on the podcast many times that we are not analysts, we are not journalists. But to be an analyst and to be a journalist, does being a former player qualify you to be that, or do you actually need to take a couple of college classes to become an analyst and a journalist? Just
I'm gonna
solely
say
because you played a sport permits you to be a journalist or an analyst?
I'm gonna say no, because this. I'm so happy we're having this conversation because I brought up the YouTube media side of basketball. A lot of those people are very passionate about basketball and pay attention to the sport at this point for a living because they're making money off of it through YouTube.
Hmm. Hmm.
Those same people, I could argue, have more knowledge about the modern NBA when you compare them to NBA players in certain media spaces, namely Kendrick Perkins. You have a Kendrick Perkins, the Shaqs, the Charles Barkley's, people from like Shaq and Charles Barkley. These are people that you could tell they're not really in tune with basketball and they don't watch basketball as much. And for the Kendrick Perkins, these are people you could tell are just saying whatever dumb stuff that they're thinking on the spot. That's on their mind. Even when Kendrick Perkins was called a fool, I didn't necessarily have a problem with what he said about them saving the NBA. It was just that was like it's the biggest admission that you're not watching basketball, even though you're happy that the Lakers are succeeding. Because yes, the Lakers doing well is good for the NBA, but there's still good stuff going on. Um, Yeah. So it's like from that media side of basketball, there's players because not every player knows what they're talking about, even though if you physically put that player on the court, they can play better and because they have experience, they know better. I'll say this.
Hmm.
High IQ players is what we think about when we're thinking about whether or not they need to be in school or they
Journalists.
have some experience before joining the media. Because the media is not all analytics because we have a Stephen A. The media is showmanship. The media is entertainment. So
Okay.
if it's so it's the answer is no, but that with the answer being no, it shouldn't make it so that people feel like oh, you didn't play in the NBA, so your opinion doesn't matter at all, even though you did your research, the numbers back up what you're saying, you watch enough games so the eye test from what you're seeing is making sense. But because Kendrick Perkins is disagreeing with you, Kendrick Perkins is right. That's BS. It's not how that should work.
But I'm gonna tell you this though. Charles Barkley had an equally, I don't want to say stupid, but equally questionable. Okay, that's the word. Questionable take. I don't know if it's this week, but recently, because I found it this week and I sent it to you, where he said that KD should not um well, I don't want to paraphrase, but essentially from what I understood that he says like KD should not be flexing his rings because he was not in the driver's seat when they won the rings. I mean now this guy got me defending Kevin Durant. I think although the rings were questionable because he went to the team that beat him, a 73 and 9 team, all of that. But look at the number that he put to get those rings. The numbers are there. It's not like KD was just sitting there and waiting to get his rings. He played and he was MVP for a couple of those rings. He was MVP of the finals. So he said Kevin Durant was not the best player on the team when they won the rings. He was the MVP, but not the best player. Which I agree. MVP doesn't mean that you are the best. MVP is the most valuable player. But to win the ring, it was valuable. So I might not be in the driver's seat, but I'm the guy making sure the motor runs well, the tires are properly aired, the car is serviced. So don't I have the right to say that we got to where we're going because of me too? Just because I did
Mm-hmm.
not drive?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You have a right to say that. You have a right to say that. People just don't like it because of the move. That's it.
So again, it's just I don't know, man. Like there are better things. Like instead of having that take, why didn't we cover De'Aaron Fox coaching issue?
Because he's a part of the problem. It's like I like. It's like that's why I'm like he's a part of the problem. It's just plain. He's plain simple. He's that's why when he said what he said, I was like, I agree. I the NBA fandom feels the exact same way. I can't stress this enough. People who are fans of the NBA feel the exact same way. They are tired of the NBA media not paying or not rewarding or reinforcing the proper passions of these modern day fans who are appreciating the basketball that they are witnessing. Because because this is the same thing I said at the All Star game when we had that podcast episode. I said we are in an era and we are in a league that is too talented for the game to be where it's at, where we're having these conversations and where we're struggling to appreciate the game of basketball. We it's a disservice to the players. It's a disservice to the game, and the media is it's a disservice to the passionate fans. Which is why a part of me too. This might be a hot take. I miss JJ Redick when he was. I miss JJ Redick working for ESPN. I miss JJ Redick as a member of the media because JJ Redick
I
was calling
mean,
out BS
I like
left.
JJ as a coach, bro.
You do, though,
I
because you're on
love
team.
JJ
You have
as a
every
coach.
right to say it, but I miss JJ Redick. I miss JJ Redick when JJ Redick was a member
You
of the
know
media.
what I miss on? I mean,
Miss
I was never a big ESPN guy, honestly. I was more the only show that I used to watch, and the reason why is because usually when I'm at work, before I start watching my like YouTube my Netflix or Hulu shows or whatever, like I usually watch Skip and Shannon's Undisputed. I
That
used
was
to
something
watch
different. Yeah, that was
that.
something whole different. I didn't like that either. That
Um,
wasn't part of the
I
problem.
mean, let me tell you, I did not watch it because they were not part of the problem that we are highlighting right now. But I also watched it mostly because of the football takes.
Hmm.
Basketball, I did not care for it because Skip Bayless is the most biased guy when it comes to basketball. So I did not care for what he had to say basketball wise. but I used to listen to it. Although he's very biased when it comes to football with his players, but Shannon had good takes when it comes to football. And then I used to watch that other guy on FS1. I forgot his name, but now I see he's just he's by himself. And there's Lava Ball went on his show and had a beef with his co-host. Hold on.
Colin Cowherd.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, you got him. I used to listen to him in the 2010s, like
Mm-hmm.
2014,
Oh,
2015, and
I
then
hated Colin. I did not like
yeah,
Colin at all.
yeah. He had a couple of takes. I was like, all right, that's it.
His takes are
Um,
like, turn this off. Like,
but Nick Wright is
I didn't like
somebody that I
him.
think, huh?
I didn't like
You
Nick Wright either. I
you
hated
didn't like
all of
him?
them. I don't.
There was Nick Wright. There was the other guy, Max Kellerman, whatever. I think those two guys sometimes they had solid takes. Sometimes,
Yeah,
so.
sometimes I didn't. Nick Wright. Eh, I don't know.
But I feel like, honestly, I feel like in a couple of years, like might be not 2027. Don't take me like literally in 2 years, but in the coming years, I feel like the TV media is gonna disappear because everybody's going to YouTube now.
Even the players are going to YouTube and starting their own channels and their own podcasts and things of that
Yeah,
nature. But
everybody's going to YouTube now. So,
like early on in the video, man, like the small amount of YouTubers that I named, because there's more that I missed. That I'm gonna
hmm
shout out one of the good ones right now. His name is Rusty Buckets. Incredible, just incredible work, incredible basketball discourse. I'll send you a couple of his videos like later on, like because when I'm at work or when I'm working out and stuff, I like to play some of his videos back because he puts a lot of good things in perspective. Those kinds of YouTubers who are keeping good conversations going about certain teams, they talk about the popular stuff too, but they don't
hmm
talk about it with the same. I want to be careful with my words, but I don't have another word that's better than the word ignorance.
Okay.
Like they're not looking for clicks. They're not looking for the hot take. The closest you'll get to is probably the YouTube like thumbnail and the title. But then you watch the video. There's good points. There's bad points. There's points you disagree with. But at the end of the day, it feels like a conversation from somebody you can tell watches the game, is passionate about the game, and appreciates the game. I don't feel that from the media, which is why I stopped watching the media altogether. Which is
Oh,
why I understand like why, which is why there's all these beefs.
yeah, yeah. So talking about beef, last point before we go, because we hit the hour mark and a little bit above. Was Bron right to check Stephen A, or was he wrong, or is it not black and white?
He was right to check Stephen A because Bron's not the only person Stephen A's had issues with.
He has issues with a lot of players, and he named them on his podcast. But that's if we start talking about those guys, gonna be too long. In my opinion, I'm not a father yet, but if anybody tried to make it seem like I am when I'm a father, that I am a bad father just for securing my son's future, I will have issues with you too.
And it's the way he did it. Stephen and because Stephen A. Pomposcu said victim lié. Like in at the afterwards, like he
hmm
was like he acted like he didn't do anything wrong or he didn't do anything that would offend, because it's like, and then he said something, he said because Kevin Love um like retweeted what he tweeted because Stephen A. Smith teased that he was going to talk about the LeBron situation on Twitter.
hmm
And then Kevin Love was like, "So you weren't going to talk about this? The only reason you're talking about this is because it went viral. You wish LeBron came to you in private instead of immediately." It basically calling Stephen A. Smith out on his BS, and I totally agree
hmm
because Stephen A. Smith has this habit where anytime as a player, anytime you call him out publicly, it's like you did this thing to him and you're soft and you did. He wasn't actually talking. He wasn't actually upsetting you with what he said. He was talking about this instead, and you took it the wrong way, and all. Instead of realistically, I've never seen Stephen A. Smith take full accountability. We know what full accountability is like personally, which is why Stephen A. Smith is. I'm gonna just stay point blank as like an entertainer. He used to be entertaining. That whole yelling stuff at
I
the
never thought
camera.
he was, man. Never thought he
It
was. And
it, it,
I was telling, because my girl is not somebody who follows sports like that. But when something goes viral, she will come to me and be like, "Oh yeah, I heard this, that. What's going on?" And I'm like, "Yo, you're gonna get me to talking about Stephen A. I don't talk about Stephen A because I don't like the guy, and I don't like talking about people that I don't like because people will think it's bias. But after, and I was like, yo, I feel like Stephen A is always trying to show that he's something that is not. Like, especially when he's talking, like using all those big words. Like, yo, you're talking to people, like regular people like me. I don't need a dictionary next to me every 2 words that you say for me to go look at. It's crazy. We're having sports stakes, sports debate. Sports is, yo, he dribbled the ball, he took a shot, he made a pass, he did this. It's not like blasphemous. Is it? Yo, bro, come on, man. It's not necessary. It's really not necessary. So I never thought he was entertaining. So that's a guy I never read. Like I have one of my best friends, Michael. Michael don't watch sports. That's not his thing. Like he's a music producer. That's his vibe. He like house music. He has a lot of things that I like. But he will tell you. I remember we were having a dinner here, and then I was talking about something that happened on Undisputed, and I'm like, well, I don't like Skip Bayless, and then Michael jump in like, I don't like him too. I'm like, Skip Bayless is like, yeah, he's always using those big words and yelling. I'm like, oh, that's Stephen A.
but it's the I don't know. I just and then my big thing is too. It's like I will respect you more if the arguments are honest.
Yeah,
You went on live television talking to LeBron as a father, begging him to stop
stop.
Bronny from playing NBA basketball games because he was embarrassing himself. Mind you, Bronny is a 55th pick. You, as a member of the media, scrutinized a 55th overall pick in the NBA just because of who his father was.
And that's doing great in the G League. Well, that's doing good in the G League.
And now that he's doing good in the G League, we haven't heard. But in the same breath, in your apology, you're gonna be like, "I wish nothing but the best for Bronny.
Oh, Bronny, and
I
he's
hope
gonna be
Bronny
an NBA
succeeds. I
player.
want
I
to see
know
him
he's
as an
gonna be an
NBA
NBA player.
player." That's not what you were saying when you were pleading for LeBron James to take him
Just
off from. That's not what he was saying when he was
because,
trying.
and it's not even that. It's not like, but like I was telling my girl, it's not like Bronny played a full NBA game. The dude was playing in garbage time
Garbage time.
and missed a couple of shots. It's not like Bronny's shots were deciding the game. The game was already settled. Like it was done. He was playing in garbage time.
He was on a two-way contract with a team that he was drafted to, like any other late second round pick or any other G League type pick,
So
and he was
let me tell.
scrutinized.
Okay, quick example. Quick example. Number 55 for the Lakers is on a two-way contract. He plays some now he plays a little bit more because we have an issue with centers. You know what? I'm scratch that. I'm not gonna take him. Let let's say any other G leaguer come on a two-way contract and they play on garbage time, like Koloko. Koloko's on the Lakers. I remember that name because it's funny to me. Koloko plays on garbage time and misses a couple of shots. Is Stephen A gonna go next day on air and have that take that
Nope,
oh he should not be playing in the NBA, but
he's not an NBA ready player. He's not
he's not
this. He's
NBA
not.
ready players, none of
Please,
that. Please
please
stop.
take him off. Please stop this. Stop embarrassing him. Get him. Stop. No, because he's not related to one of the greatest players of all time. He's not related
So
to
you
LeBron James. He's not.
literally pleading with the kid's father for the kids doing what any G Leaguers doing, any second round, late second round pick is doing, and
It's
you
this.
wanna be like, oh my God, I did not talk about Bronny in a bad way. I
I was
only talk
talking
about
about you.
LeBron. I
I
was
was
talking
talking about
about
you,
you.
LeBron.
Out of here, bro.
and then
Uh,
and then you had to talk about it because it went viral. You had
yeah,
to
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about it.
Oh, no, no, no. And it's not him that's seeking attention. It's LeBron that is
It's
seeking
LeBron,
attention because LeBron has his number, or Mav Carter has his number, Rich Paul has his number. He could
and
have
they
called
could have
him
called him. They
privately.
could have called him in private.
So LeBron is actually seeking attention now.
But you want to know what the BS is? When players have called him in private, you want to know what he does?
He comes on
Oh,
there.
goes on there. He's like, oh, so and so called me. He was very upset. We talked about it. He reached out to me, and I just wanted to address the situation and explain what my thought process was, or explain where I was coming from. And then he'll do the exact same thing that he did. Only difference is LeBron pressed you when he was time to press you. That's the only difference.
One of the thing is always proud to tell is when Kobe called him because he had a bad take about Kobe. And yeah, Kobe called me. I did not answer, and he was like, "Pick up, you know who this is." Like trying to make himself important. That's one of the issue that I have with him. Like, yo, everybody, you should be proud of yourself and do all that, but at some point, it's too much on people. You know, you don't need to do all that.
The disrespect is always louder than the apology, and the praise is whispered. The praise is never as loud as the disrespect. The praise is never as loud as the praise is never as loud as the criticism. That's my biggest issue with him. It's my overall biggest issue with the media, and it all comes full circle. Like this LeBron thing, the Charles Barkley thing, it's all connected. In my
Yeah,
opinion, it's all
yeah,
connected. So, thank you for sticking with us. We went
for sure.
overtime. We
We
went way
definitely
over.
did.
I don't think we didn't go overtime. We ended. I'm gonna just start saying
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. We ended
We
now
ended.
because yo, we
If you
average 1 hour and 30 minutes, guys. I don't think we went over 1:30.
if you've been with the
So
program, you know what the
you
program is.
already know, man. We
We
have so much
ended.
stuff to talk about. So if you're riding with us, we already know that's the average time. So we wanna
Yeah.
thank you for being with us, and shout out to everybody that's been working with us since day one. We have more to come, so we'll be
Yep.
with you
Like,
next week,
comment, share, subscribe.
most definitely.
Things. Let us know in the comments. What do you think about in the very beginning of the video? Let us know what you think about his lineup for the
Yeah.
Brazilian national team.
I want
Um,
opinions. I want opinions, especially
you
from
know,
my soccer fans, my Brazilian fans. I want opinion. I
we'll
know I know a couple of guys are gonna be like, bro, we have no players.
Yeah,
But I
we're
want
also
opinion.
and for the football fans, what free agency moves, what rumor are you looking forward to the most? And back to soccer. How many of us are rooting against Real Madrid in
Zero.
the next derby? And then basketball. Where do you think the state of basketball is at with the game? Do you think
And
LeBron is right in pressing Stephen A. Smith? I certainly think so. And what do
one
you think about media?
one of the big questions too, as far as media, and also one of the big question is if you're a player on a team, do you have to hype your your teammate, or do you have to keep it 100? Because it comes out, in my opinion, it comes out as fake when you hype me and then next day go on another team and shade on me. So let us know, guys. Let us know.
Let us know all that stuff. We
All
look
right.
forward to reading your comments, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you next time. Peace.